Okay. Hey guys, welcome. Welcome to our workshop.
Hi.
I am Chelsea interpreting Coxie. I'm a dream analysis coach and I'm co-hosting with Olga. I have a hard time saying your last name. I Dino.
Olga Aydınolu.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a shamanic healing practitioner.
Yes. So today we're going to work with symbolism, and we chose just one symbol to work with, which is a circle, and we're going to work with the soul of the circle. That's a very shamanic thing to say, the soul part, and I've got the Jungian aspect. So it's going to be a really interesting combination of two lanes coming together on symbolism today. So I'll start out real quick with just a quick concept of how I view symbolism from a Jungian concept. We do believe that symbolism is alive and it has its own character or kind of a soul to it, really. And symbolism is very unique because everyone views symbolism from their own emotional connection to it and how it relates to them in their personal life, right? So with that, we're going to be doing individual, personal, emotional, individual views on symbolism and how to pull out what it means to you as the viewer. And the interesting with symbolism is it's never black and white. And so it does evolve even within ourselves, which is why I love the circle as the example today, because it really will take you in this full circle while learning the symbolism of the circle. So I always view symbolism's meanings as a circle, literally, and then it gets more in depth with meaning throughout time or throughout our life. So like, because I do dream analysis, I'll say, you might have a dream one morning and have an idea of what it means that next morning. But when you look back at it a few months later, it'll have more depthness to meaning from that. And it's kind of just the evolution of symbolism to the viewer or the perspective of reality. So I'm very excited to explore this with you guys because I think it's going to really resonate with a lot of people in a unique way. And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, and after the Jungian symbolism, what is Chelsea's specialty? We'll be going into a meditation, a shamanic meditation, along with shamanic energy work and healing from the soul world. And each one of you guys will be able to connect to the soul of circle personally and share your experiences. And for those of you who are watching afterwards in the recording on YouTube, actually the energy work will be also going out towards you guys according to your intentions. So for you guys watching this on YouTube, all you have to do is just intent like, oh yeah, I'd like to receive the energy works of this workshop, of this session, and you will. So it's not only for live version. Yeah.
Okay. So what did we want to do first? I cannot remember at the moment.
From the symbolism perspective, the Jungian concepts, what is the circle? So I'll be more talking about the practical side of when I connected to the soul of circle and asked for its story, asked for its wisdom. It showed stuff to me, and that's what I'll be talking about from my psychic perspective when I connected to it. But first, if you like to, please share with us the, like, I don't know if it's a good word to say, the classical interpretation of the symbol of the circle, or what you're working with through, Jungian philosophy and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know the terms, so yeah.
No, you're fine. I did not look up what it means like on a mass collective level. I was more or less working with it the last like month on an individual personal reflection of it too. But I do think it would, if I had to make a guess, I think it represents life because like everything kind of comes in full circle, right? And we do have this going for us. So like I was working on it more on a personal reflections and just so anyone working here, if you wanted to share stories or comment in the chats, please feel free to do that. So I'll just talk about it from my perspective, which is something that I find really interesting because it's always very like synchronatic. has a lot of synchronicity to it. And it's not always just within my reality, but it seems like even the people around me kind of feed into it too. So it kind of shows like the individual and a mass collective of how it's alive. I think when we look at symbolism, one of the best things to do is to kind of notice that the energy that appears to be alive just kind of come from like synchronicity a little bit. Because I know that once we have our mind on something, we can see it everywhere, right? The human mind kind of tends to like to do that. And we always give things meaning, but I think it's when it kind of appears out of nowhere or really just does this left field movement with us a lot. That's where we're like, okay, this is appearing to have its own character or personality or its own like soul or liveliness about it. So for me, I was taking it on like some of my academic studies, as well as my personal life and reflections on like some shadow work going back and forth. And I was finding that the circle had meant a lot on healing. I was thinking a lot on the healing recently, and how it keeps going in this spiral of layers. I don't want to get into too much detail on like healing from what necessarily, but I've noticed that every time we think we've made it to a space where we've healed something, it tends to always come back around through other phases of progression throughout life, and it comes back with a deeper meaning constantly. Kind of feels like a tree a little bit, or like the energy of a tree, because it has its polarities on each side, and it always kind of creates this full circle aspect too. I don't know if everyone's going to agree with that listening, but that's kind of how I was viewing the circle a little bit. I guess in a way it felt like a tree. It was a circle going this way, it was a circle going this way, and it just had this depthness that kind of just keeps coming back basically. So it took me on, like, I feel like I've always related to the circle without intentionally trying to, but I do realize how it's this constant going from confusion to clarity to healing to understanding, and always taking it to this next layer or level a little bit. That's for me at least.
So when people see circles like in your dream analysis sessions, obviously like it's gonna be personal, but what is there something you kind of think of immediately? Like somebody said, "Oh, I was dreaming of, the circle." if somebody's dreaming just about the circle, is there something that just like pops in your mind as a definition or as a meaning or
It just,
wisdom or something?
yeah, even like hearing that, it felt like completeness or wholeness or filling a chapter kind of thing. But like again, if I were doing that, would just be like my reflection on it. If I were looking at it as like the coach or someone else had that in their reality, I would try to dig into the context and what it meant to them emotionally, and try to get them to pull that out a little bit. Which sometimes it can be pretty obvious, but sometimes it takes a little like work too. But it's always kind of comes down to like, how do you emotionally feel about that? And like, within the context, if it's positive or negative, confusing. But it does remind me of like something being whole, really. Just a circle.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, so should I go now with the shamanic perspective? Yeah, as Chelsey was saying, like we noticed it the moment we actually both decided to do the workshop on the circle. The synchronicities were crazy. We were just laughing a lot because the circle was showing up in everything, in every conversation of ours. It was just like, it was really crazy. It was fun. Yeah, so from shamanism perspective, I guess I'll just should say I can't explain a lot of it, but I can just say that with animism, we basically see consciousness in everything. So maybe it would sound weird that there's a soul off a circle, right? Or we are used to saying that, well, I have a soul, I'm a human being. But in shamanism, we see everything having a soul. And there are different traditions of shamanism, obviously. So I am talking about what I've been taught by my teachers. So if somebody's been taught something else by another teacher. That's something else. But what I've been taught and what I'm experiencing is that there's a soul in everything of everything. So literally, I can call in the soul of this pencil, this particular pencil, and talk to it and ask for its wisdom and ask for its story and ask whatever it wants to, tell me. And I can talk to the soul of this chair, and I can talk to the soul of my emotions, for example. I can talk to the soul of my, maybe in the morning, I can talk to the soul of my sleepiness, or I can talk to the soul of my hunger, or I can talk to the soul of my happiness, sadness, or anything like that. So then today, well, I happen to connect to the soul of circle. Not today, but preparing for this workshop. And I asked it, hi, what's up? I asked it to share its wisdom with me and share the wisdom of the circle and the medicine of the circle. And yeah, what it had to say that would be useful, not just for me, but for people in this workshop as well, and whoever would be watching this. So the collective as well. And yeah, I got a kind of a duality of what is in the circle and as what is not in the circle. So a lot of the story was about the limits and boundaries and defining things. And personally, the circle has been talking to me as about desire, like my personal desire of my soul. Like, what do I want and what I don't want? Or what do I want for the reasons that are clean, like something that makes me feel alive and I truly want it for the sake of that thing to feel alive? Or do I want it because somebody told me I should want it? Or because when I was a kid, someone told me that it's a good thing to do. So that's why I want it. And actually, we've been talking about some entities and stuff like that within our collective, our conscious collective group. And the circle has also, it's in a way, it's also talking about like a sacred circle where you separate what is you and what is not you. So especially also in the work of, let's say, entities or any kind of beings that are not you, the circle would help to define what is actually you and what is actually not you, and the fact that you belong in you and the not you belongs elsewhere. And the circle, like the medicine of the circle, the wisdom of the circle, helps us define these questions, because we may think that, oh, it's easy, I know what I am and what I'm not. Yeah, here I am, but if we dig deeper, we have a lot of stuff that doesn't really belong to us. And the circle, the wisdom of the circle, the medicine of the circle helps us to get rid of that stuff. I guess I'll show a picture and I'll say what I mean. Okay. So for example, I drew this circle and it's like laying flat. And this yellow little cloud here is my desire, let's say, of painting a painting. All right. I want to paint a painting. And I'm trying to, yeah, let's say for some reason, I've been procrastinating. And then I have a fear of, oh my God, I didn't paint any paintings for a month now. I should do it. Otherwise, I am a lazy person, or otherwise, blah, blah, blah. So there's some kind of guilt, let's say. So one of the clouds is guilt. Oh, let me paint this because I feel guilty. And if I go at my desire through guilt, through the intention of guilt, oh, I feel guilty, that's why let me paint the painting. the painting will turn out to be kind of going back out of the circle, well, not so cool. The experience of painting will not be cool. And even the painting itself will not be as cool as it could have been if I could just remove the guilt and paint directly from my desire to paint. I hope that makes sense. Or like fears, oh, I better do this or I won't improve my painting skills, and that's the second cloud here, it's fear. And I only drew 2 clouds, but actually it's like the circle was pointing to me that there are so many clouds, so many other reasons than the healthy reason within. And little by little, I was getting rid of the clouds. And it's like the circle was trying to recalibrate my desire. I was kind of going out into the darkness, and then the circle will say, no, 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 go back, go back. And the circle will point out to me all the shadows and the weird reasons, the unhealthy reasons why I want to do the thing I want to do, which originally is a healthy thing that I want to do, but it was helping me to get rid of all these unnecessary shadows, like as in shadow work. So that's like a personal experience of the circle. And another thing I was shown is a cave. And the cave is, I don't know, in my experience, a cave is always round, and it reminds me of the womb, uh, of the mother's womb. And it was showing me like the duality of protection of the circle, as in sacred circle, limits and boundaries. When we're little babies and when we're hidden in a circle so that we can grow in a safe way, and where the mother provides the nurturing and provides everything, provides safety, provides nurturing, provides everything, warmth, completely everything for us. It's a great thing. But when we grow up and we're still in that circle, well, it can become something toxic. And it was leading me to things like the mother womb. Like when we have acquired so much from our mothers that perhaps it's time to kind of open up that circle and let out the stuff that's not me. Because like I kind of grew up and I am me now. And I need to make a distinction now. What is me and what is my mom? Because I can't be a complete copy of my mom. That's not natural. I am still me. So the opposite version of cave. Oh, before the opposite version, the cave also was showing me ancestors and our DNA. So it's like I was sitting there in a sweat lodge and I was looking through my DNA, which is basically my desires. And I was looking at my ancestors, and I have a lot of ancestors who were good at various things. And I was like sorting through my own desires and interests and talking to various ancestors who were good at those things. And I could pick and choose. I could say, oh, I'd like, an ancestor who would teach me how to paint because, well, I love to paint. Okay, so every example is going to be about painting. So I want an ancestor who teaches me how to paint. And if you guys ever heard of this, is that we have DNA that, we get passed down from our ancestors, but some of it is activated, some of it is not. So for example, we can get a DNA, like piece of DNA that tells us like a color blindness DNA, but we may never experience the color blindness, or we may have an ancestor who is painting really well, but we may never actually activate that piece of the DNA by never practicing painting, for example, or singing or writing or whatever it is. So the circle was teaching me to sit in a cave and decide what I want birthed inside of me. What I want and what I don't want. Again, going back to desires, like what piece of DNA do you want to activate within you? Which ancestor do you want to come through? And whose help do you want? Depending on what do you want in life, like what is the desire you want to activate for right now. So the cave for me was also like a womb where I decided who I want to be, like what do I want to give birth in me, and in that way calling in that which I wanted. And then on the opposite side of this thing, I saw the collective circle, but which also showed up as a web, spider's web. And this, like, this is the painting that came through. And in the middle of it is basically an eye. And this eye is individual eyes of people in the collective, but it's also the eye of a collective of a bunch of people who, I don't know, I would say who are interested in this kind of work. So this eye was like blocked by the spider web, and the spider was running around. And this the spider web was kind of like in squares like this, and I heard the word grid, and I was like, oh, like we can't see something, we can't see things clearly because of this grid, like a spider web grid. And for some reason I wanted to touch the spider web in my psychic explorations. And I wouldn't recommend this actually for everybody with having psychic experience to go around touching stuff, but if you're not experienced. But I knew that I was safe because I talked to my guides and they're like, it's okay, you can do it. So I touched the grid and I felt the spider web grid go up my hand, up my arm, up my shoulder, and out into my brain. And it started like clouding up my brain with a lot of spider webs. And it made me feel really lazy, and it made me feel like I want to procrastinate, and it made me feel like I want to grab like a glass of wine instead of doing something I love. It made me feel like, you know, if I wanted to exercise, I saw these examples of like everyday life. Like sometimes we say, oh, I want to exercise today, and then we end up like not exercising for some reason, or oh, we end up going to, you know, watch Netflix for like, you know, like 10 series of something in a row. And it was like the spider web is like plaguing the collective and individuals in a way that's uh like this. It's not allowing us to go to that yellow part in our personal circles.
I never brain fog.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does.
Yeah, like it's like, and I was like, what is this? So I'm like, okay, I understand, and I spit out the whole thing out of my arm. But I knew that the reason why it could go in is because I have it too. It's not like I'm such a clean saint angel that doesn't have it. I have it too, and it's that I'm part of the collective. So yeah, it was showing the webs, the spider web kind of delusions and distortions and false beliefs, false assumptions, guilt, shame, blame, karma, you know, self accusations or self sabotage, and all this kind of stuff that doesn't even all belong to us. It belongs to wherever we grew up and however, wherever we bloomed as plants or something. Sorry, that was a symbol. So it was saying like, hey, you know, we have a lot of spider webs in our heads that we're still keeping. We're not cleaning them up. And yeah, so the medicine of the circle was that the circle can help you clean up those spider webs from your head. So then instead of reaching, for that extra glass of wine, or, skipping on exercise, or I don't know, whatever it is that you want, not doing that painting, not writing that book, not going for that project, not whatever makes you feel truly alive. Yeah, the circle can help with that. Like that's the medicine of the circle. Oh yeah, and I was also getting like tunnel vision. So the circle was showing me like sometimes in psychic experiences you like travel down a tunnel to somewhere you want to get to. And the circle was like, well, the circle, like, why is the tunnel like this, like a circle shape? And it was like, well, it's a focusing lens and it gets you to a place. And yeah, I was hearing like tunnel vision can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. Tunnel vision, on the one hand, you don't see anything else. You just want to look at your limited perspective, never see anything, right? Or it can be a good thing when you're really, really focusing on a task, on a goal, and you're like, okay, everything out, only this is in, I'm going down the tunnel, I'm going to get to my goal, right? So the circle can help kind of with both sides of the coin in that sense. I hope, was that resonating, connecting? Was I talking too much?
No, I love it. You took
That
it
was
so
beautifully
in-depthly.
said.
Sorry.
I think it was beautifully said. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Okay, good. I'm happy. Connected.
You got so much more out of it than I did.
Well, I was
I love
talking
that
to the
though.
Soul Circle every single day since we planned this workshop. So I was like walking hand in hand with the
Yeah.
circular hand. I'm just checking the
Circle
chat.
hand.
Oh, if there are any questions or anything.
I can't see it. Does anyone want to share anything by chance?
Okay, the sun. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I see no questions for now. But basically, like, so for the next step of this thing that we're doing, actually, I've already asked the soul world, and I can't explain exactly what I'm talking about, but I think you guys can feel it anyway, to help us with our energy work and like help from the soul world. Okay. Yeah. So the next thing we can do is connect to the soul of circle personally in a meditation for each one of us, and ask for, and I've already talked to the soul of circle, and I asked for you guys to come forth towards you, to you, and show you whatever is the relevant realization or healing, inspiration, question, vision, whatever it is that you guys at this time are seeking right now, like for that to be an answer from the soul of circle. So I don't, like, I didn't ask what, but I asked the soul of circle to decide what what it wants to show according to everyone's desires and whatever you guys are seeking in life. And also, yeah, during this meditation, you guys will be receiving a healing, which would be working on allowing you to remove at least some of whatever is ready to be removed, like these spider webs from you. So whatever spider web is ready to go, in your life, that it would be this soul of circle would be helping you to let go of that, so that you can actually define what is it that you want, like, underneath it all. Yeah, and get to doing that. Yeah, being alive, doing your thing, shining your light. Yeah, that. And yeah, after the meditation, we can share what we're getting. Do you guys have any questions or anything before we go? Or any suggestions or anything?
Actually, I have a small one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there are more people, maybe like me, who did a lot of the circle works, but even though you think you got them all, there might be some little spider webs inside of a little corner you didn't get yet.
I'm sure
So
we have them, yeah. Yeah, but actually I didn't want to talk too much because I would be talking for too long. I don't think that's necessary. So, yeah, so I just only touched on.
as much as you like, a lot of the things you're saying are not only for the people who are beginning to get the spider webs, but also for the people who think they went deep into it, but still have a few things left over. And the spider web is something that's really represents.
Your microphone's muted. Okay, we can hear you now.
Sorry.
Yeah, we didn't hear you, but yeah, obviously we can't, the concept of circle or spider webs is gigantic, and we can't cover it in 2 hours or even in, I don't know, 2 years. But yeah, so this is a cool opportunity to just connect to it personally and experience the healing. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I suggest like just sit down comfortably, with your eyes closed if you can. If you're driving, please don't do it. Yeah, so just relax and allow yourself to explore things. Not too seriously, but yeah, it comes easier if you're not that serious. Yeah, so let's begin. So you can begin by, so the meditation will be quiet. I'll just introduce the soul circle, and I'll just be doing energy work in the background, and then we'll come back and share stuff. Okay, so you can begin by allowing yourself to be present in all of your senses. That is your eyes and your nose, and your skin, your body, your ears. Allow yourself to be present where you are sitting in your body, so you can actually be all there when the soul of circle talks to you. And you can ask, beloved soul of circle, please come. And allow yourself to welcome the soul of circle in your space, next to you, however it is that the soul of circle shows up for you. And allow the soul of circle to settle down next to you. And you can welcome the soul of circle and introduce yourself. And you can ask the soul of circle to share an insight with you, or healing, a vision, a story, a wisdom, a medicine that is most appropriate for you right now. And allow yourself to know that your spirit guides are with you and helping you right now. And you can ask for their help as you do it normally. Or just ask for their help if you never do it. That's cool. Yeah, and just sit with the soul of circle and allow the soul of circle to speak to you, and however it does. You can slowly thank the soul of circle for sitting with you today and sharing its wisdom, its medicine, its messages, insights. And you can ask the soul of circle to, if you would like to, you can ask the soul of circle to be present with you for however long you want, a few days or whatever period of time that is appropriate, and continue sharing its messages, insights, healing, medicine, wisdom with you throughout the following days, as appropriate as you are, as you may begin to hear the messages more clearly throughout the coming days, or whatever period appropriate to your experience. You can thank the soul of circle once again. And you can say a polite goodbye. And you can come back to the space. Back into the physical. Slowly. Keeping the wisdom intact. Appreciating it. And if anyone would like to share your experience, yeah, we'd love to hear. Do you want to start, Chelsey?
Yeah, I wrote mine down, so it was good. It felt like one of my creative writings almost. Now, this was really interesting. You guys get to come off camera if you want during this space, so we can be more intimate one-on-one. So I wrote it down kind of creatively, so I'm just going to read what I wrote. As swirling around as a blue and purple energy, I become the soul of the circle, and I push out of the middle with love and life. I realize that I breathe life into symbolism as it in return breathes life into me. I then dance around the many layers of the circle to the depths of meaning of life in the same soul. We together become the Fibonacci sequence, the duality of energy of me and symbolism. I don't know, it was very interesting. So I don't know fully what it all means, but it makes sense that we breathe life into symbolism and it breathes life into us, that we equally are inspired by symbolism in that way, if that makes sense a little bit.
Yeah, when I was looking at you, I was seeing your golden waterfall again. I was like, oh, she let out the waterfall, like, yeah, that waterfall was flowing. And I saw you kind of, like, there formed a circle around the waterfall, and I saw you kind of flowing out of that waterfall, but then you came back and you're like, oh my God, I'm this magnificent waterfall. Like, you actually saw yourself. You're like, that's me, you know? And it's like this back and forth action was like you realizing yourself kind of, which, yeah, makes sense with what you wrote as well. So yeah, that's fun.
It's inspired a new creative writing piece, I think.
Cool.
But it for me, it kind of answered a few questions because, you know, I've understood symbolism as its own identity and like how we as humans can bring anything to life in that sense, just because that's how our brains work, right? But it made sense, almost like it took the lesson full circle, but more in depth, how it, you know, so I just love it full circle. And I really liked how, because at first I wasn't sure why I was going in a circle and then why I was pushing out of it. Like I took my soul into it, but I also realized that it was, as I was giving the symbolism life, it was giving me life too, which I thought that was very like powerful, a little bit realization, a tad bit. Yeah, and then I danced around the many layers of the circle to the depths of meaning and life as the same soul. And then I did see the Fibonacci sequence, which was kind of random, but I do like the Fibonacci sequence. And it is this conch shell circle effect that would kind of keep going depthness too. and it's all around life. So it's cool. I wasn't expecting that. All right, I'm done. Anyone else?
Well, we can go according to our Zoom lineup, or at least like how I see it. For me, Jeanette is next, the next after. Would you like to share with us what you
Sure,
got?
y'all might be scared with my stuff. So I'm a very 3D person. So I take everything and 3D it. Music is a big thing for me. So while I was sitting there, the song, and I'm not a vocalist, so bear with me. But the song "You Spin Me Right Round, Baby" was coming in. So with that, it was like a circle. You can't tell a circle is spinning unless there's something in it. A circle with nothing in it just looks like a circle because no matter which way you spin it, it looks the same. But once you start adding things into the circle, then you can actually tell that it's spinning. And then it came through that a circle with nothing in it is a hole. So it's not a circle, it's just a hole. So that's kind of where I went with it. But ta-da! That's it. That's all I got for you.
That kind of correlates what I was seeing a little bit, how I brought it to life and gave the soul, and then it brought me to life, like an energy exchange between it a bit.
Yeah.
So with nothing in it, it's just empty. But if we bring it to life in a way,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's
Olga, please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, there's no like, well, the correct answer is this.
the correct answer is everyone's right, everyone's wrong.
And I just like took it as a like an exercise to check out what everyone else was seeing. And I mean, from my perspective, because that's fun for me, actually. And as a initiator of the energy work, I like to keep an eye on things to, because I activate it. So I have a kind of responsibility of sorts. So yeah, for Jeanette, I saw you like interesting, like like you were looking at the sun and the wind somehow, or your soul was, I don't know, and like it was going in a circle back to you, and it's like I saw you kind of like rediscovering or discovering your connections to other things, like in how I saw it was the sun and the wind, and you were like there's you and there's the sun and there's the circle spinning between you guys. So you're like, oh, like that's the relationship between me and the sun or something. That's the
I find connections in everything, like all the little details in life. I find, oh, there's a connection, there. Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, it sounds fun. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, Severin, you're next for us in the Zoom line. Would you like to share what you felt?
I kind of had the opposite feeling. For me, it's like going in a circle, and what you put in the middle, it's like a gravity force. So you might put something little in the middle, and when you start spinning a circle, it'll pull throughout the circle and go outside and make you realize it's a little bit more than just the gravity point. So it's getting bigger. And also, I had some sounds coming through. I don't know. I do a lot of meditation with a lot of how do you call it? Frequencies and things. So it was like a sound of waves, ocean waves, and synchronized waves. So it was like a little wave becoming bigger and bigger and growing. But I'm not sure where it's going to, but it was getting bigger.
Yeah, just like it was getting bigger across the circle that way, it was getting bigger that the other way as well. Yeah. For you, I saw like the circle was spinning this way, and then you're kind of like having some kind of energy going in there, and sometimes it went like an infinity symbol, but it would always be kind of somehow what wouldn't connect, but it would be I don't want to say broken, it sounds wrong or something. It wasn't wrong, it's
Kind of a
more like
tornado.
no, like an infinity symbol going this way, like number 8, going
Yeah.
this way and in and out of the circle, and it wouldn't connect, but it would go slightly different way. Like it would go like this, but instead of
Disconnected.
connecting, it would go like you, and then go into different ways. And there was a feeling of like a continuation, not a closed and completeness, but more like a continuation, kind of like this. So
Yeah. Sorry
it's
for
like a
the dog.
growth.
Yeah, I know what you're meaning. The symbol of infinity the last
Yeah,
few weeks is coming back and back, and actually I'm still wondering why, but it's very, if I'm looking at it at a metaphorical way, I'm feeling like I need to go through all of the things I've did before, and like it's getting me to the same point again.
but in this case, it's actually going, not connecting back to the same point, but going to further, like a continuation and growth.
Hmm.
Just like you said, the waves are getting bigger and bigger, or the thing in the middle just gets like bigger too. So yeah, I would say perhaps a shift in that perspective you can expect it. And you can also ask the soul of circle to keep working with you, and you can ask specific questions like, hey, you know, soul of circle, could you please help me with this specific thing I'm experiencing? So if you sit back with that soul of circle and ask specific questions, then you can listen to the new kind of answers that it has for you. Or
I think I know what you're meaning. I'm very intuitive, but the thing I'm not really connecting to is the spirit guides. I know they're with me, but I'm kind of afraid to recognize who they are.
yeah, that's a yeah, a different topic. We can perhaps make actually a workshop later on connecting to spirit guides. But if you like, we can actually work on it one-on-one later on. Yeah, but it would be a cool topic to work on one day, I guess. But they're there anyway, so it's okay. I mean, and
And
yeah, you can feel safe in this workshop because I do talk to your spirit guides and ask them to participate. But yeah, they're with you anyway. Yeah. That's some cool experience, and thank you for sharing. Um, and Lynn is next in our Zoom. Actually, our Zoom lineup is always changing, but right now it's Lynn. So, Lynn, do you have something to share with us?
Actually, I don't know what to make of it. I was really distracted. It was really difficult for me to get into it, even though I felt as if I really wanted to. But I don't know. I became frustrated, and then distracted. And then very sad, and I just felt very disconnected. So yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I was actually connecting to what you were looking at too, and yeah, I felt some difficulties kind of. I won't mention, I guess, like I will mention to you later on privately because it's connected to what we're working on. So
Okay.
yeah, I'll type yeah, because I know it's private. So yeah, but yeah, and I can do some extra energy work for you later. Yeah. Sorry guys, like yeah, we need to keep things private because this is a YouTube video and
I would really appreciate it.
yeah, okay. But thanks for sharing, Lynn. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So Dustin, do you have something to share with us, something you felt, heard, experienced?
Um, I I got into it a little bit, and then I think I got distracted. I was just I don't know. I guess I don't know. I guess like envision the circle, like being in the circle being around me, and then I envision like the circle kind of as a structural element, maybe or something. I don't know. Like it was like the circle could needs to withhold pressure from the outside or something. I don't know. And like if you don't have the internal things in the circle um, solid or strong enough, then the circle is not strong enough. Like to withhold whatever pressure or something. I don't Probably has something to do with like just been feeling that way lately in life, like just feeling like I got so much going on, but I'm trying to trying to like I feel like maybe if I discipline myself or something, I could do more or something. I don't know. Um, I don't know, but it then I don't know. It kind of just I guess I kind of went blank, and then I kind of just couldn't stay in the meditation for much longer.
Mm-hmm.
So, um,
Yeah. Um, yeah, when I was looking into I was basically looking at Zoom at people and like looking at what everyone's experiencing when I was looking at your window. I was seeing like a definition of who or what you are versus this is not me kind of stuff. But the focus was more on who you are. So it was kind of like naturally and almost automatically the stuff when you kind of not speak, or you didn't speak, but when you kind of realize some parts that you are, it's like automatically the stuff that is not that is kind of leaving. So it was leaving, I started leaving through the center, like, oh, this doesn't belong here. Like it was leaving. So I would say you were experiencing a kind of restructuring and fixing of your inner and outer limits and boundaries, and by using definitions of who am I,
mm,
and automatically the stuff that you're not, well, it leaves.
yeah,
Just by you defining that I am this,
yeah, it kind of aligns with what I've been, I guess dealing with or going through spiritually. I guess that's
hmm
the thing.
Yeah. The more you build up, not just build up the structure, you're already kind of whole and complete and healthy inside anyway, but you you may not be experiencing it like that, or you may have forgotten, or whatever delusions, distortions, whatever we have. And the more you kind of remember or redefine and, you know, clearly see the structure, like your inner structures of who you are. I almost see it like a grid also, but grid that makes up you and not something else. And like the more you define it, the more clear you are about what you are, and the more like stable the structure is, like you say, and the harder it will be for anything else to stay in there, because you'll clearly see, you know, that that doesn't belong. So yeah, it's a
Okay.
process.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing. That was really cool.
That was interesting. That was cool.
Yeah, the soul world is not somewhere far away. It's right here. It's right here. Yeah. Oof, thanks. Yeah. Ross, is that how you say your name? Ross. Would you like
Yeah,
to
that's
share?
right.
Okay.
So,
Would you like
just
to
bear
share
with me
what
because my fan on my laptop tends to kick in and then you can't hear me.
we can
So
hear you.
cool. So it wasn't so much that I saw anything, it was kind of what I felt. So it was very much kind of a peacefulness and a calm and sort of an energy sort of feeling around my third eye area. So it's just very much kind of, yeah, very, very peaceful and calm for me.
Okay. Yeah, that's nice. I can't recall what I saw for you, but yeah, for you I also saw like something coming out from the middle. But it's hard for me to see because actually I haven't seen your picture, so it was hard to connect. But somehow with the people whose pictures I saw, how they look like, I could connect better. But if I don't see like a face, it's hard.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw a general thing that something was coming out from the middle, and it also felt like something that didn't belong there was leaving. So, yeah, thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Michael, would you like to share with us what you got?
I think he gets a message. Do you want to share it?
Oh, yeah. He wrote. So I initially saw bronze. I don't know that word. Ouroboros snake eating its tail. Oh, okay. Okay, the symbol, all right. Bracelet appear on my wrist and felt the weight. I lost it after being distracted by my cat and couldn't get back into it. I don't get it if the bracelet is physical or you felt it physical. But yeah, what do you think, Chelsey? Do you have any comments or felt the weight of it?
I can't see the chat that well with the iPad, but
Oh,
no,
right,
that
right.
sounded
Okay.
very the idea of the snake eating its tail, that's like really popular in a lot of different cultures. So I thought that was honestly for Michael to get something very archetype and original makes sense because he's always got really interesting dreams too. I like the symbolism of that. Like Michael, how did it make you feel before the cat got involved?
So he felt it around his hands.
Physically too. Feels like it would be like an energy transfer going from something that he saw symbolically appearing on his arm. But first,
he wrote, first was calm, then a bit of a shock there.
You're not expecting it to be so
Oh,
real almost.
okay. Yeah, because yeah, I guess he's feeling things, you know, tactile. His tactile senses are more active than, and felt so real compared to many dreams. Whoa, nice. Yeah, 'cause my thing is more like visual, but I guess you start to feel your psychic senses, which or I don't know how much you already experience it, but I guess you have a tactile sense abilities. like for when I saw you, I saw the circle, which was you, but then for some reason there was like water coming out from the middle, and it kind of gathered into a lake underneath and to the side. And I'm like, I don't know what that's about, because I felt like yeah, I didn't see the picture of the person, and I just see the window, so I felt like quite disconnected. But yeah, and I'm like, yeah, something went out and it gathered like a lake. So I would have, I can't, like, I would have to, I don't know, just wanted to share what I saw, but can't get deeper into it because I never met Michael. So yeah. Or at least in the picture. But yeah, that's a really cool experience of
It's really funny. The other day, I actually had a snake eating its tail come up in a reading, and it was like a infinity symbol. So I don't know if that means anything to you, Michael, but it was in the shape of an infinity symbol. But it was about a choice. So I don't know if you have any, but the snake was eating its tail, and there was some kind of choice that needed to be made infinitely or something like that. But just kind of putting that out there.
Yeah, so that's often an interpretation of that image. Yeah, that's really interesting. And I work with Michael. So he always has like the most wildest symbolic dreams, and they're always like real classic archetype. He must be ancient.
Actually, the infinity symbol and the snake eating his own tail is also a kind of infinity because it never ends.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I know that it's a really popular symbol. It's been used a lot.
Yeah, but it's misinterpreted.
Well, I think a lot of things are these days.
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't know, how about you guys? I really liked this. It was really fun. And yeah, actually it's just one of my intentions is to kind of show that, look, the spirit world, the soul world, the non-physical world is really right here, and we can really utilize our ability to have these conversations like every single day, anytime we want, and learn stuff about ourselves, and use it to live better, like be happier and just be more alive and healthy and stuff. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much.
Me too.
Yeah. And I wanted to say something with all that. I think it's awesome for us, for not just me, but for other people to try to experience and realize it's not that difficult. And, you know, it is sometimes just what you first experience with it. There's no right or wrong answer. But, you know, like for me personally, I always look exterior wise for information or answers, right? And something with even working with Olga the last like 2 months now, it's learning to look internally within my soul for the answers. And it even took me to places like, you know, maybe not harass my guides so much, but also to try to actually get it for myself. So I think this was a really cool experience to just kind of, not just to practice for myself, but to have other people practice it too, and see that, you know, we really get some interesting answers when we look within, and it's not always going to be what we see exterior wise, if it be in academics or from other people's personal experiences with it too. We really have our unique concepts with these things. And, you know, I think that's really cool. So.
It really is.
Yeah.
So I think that's how we're going to wrap it up. Does anyone want to add anything last minute before we go?
No,
Okay.
it was perfect.
Yeah, just keep doing these things on your own. I should be doing it more often too. I know it's hard sometimes with life and stress, but this was great, and I hope everyone else enjoyed it as well. So reach out to us on Facebook if you want. I think we're both tagged in the original posts and stuff. So if you wanted to connect with Olga for sessions, or if you want to connect with me, feel free to. Yeah, I'm sure we'll come up with another good idea for a workshop pretty soon.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks
Thank you,
everyone for
both
your
of
time,
you.
for coming. I really appreciate you guys, and thank you.
So, all
Thank
right,
you, guys.
bye. Yeah, I'm
Bye-bye.
glad to have everyone. All right, we'll see you guys later. Have a great day.
Thank